Good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for tuning in to this one, the Championship review. Another great round of fixtures in the Championship. Sorry this has been up a little late. Usually I put this up in the morning, but it will be going up in the evening now due to I've just been super busy, which is very rare. If you haven't watched this before, it's just a review and reaction to all of the weekend fixtures in the Championship. So I hope you enjoy, and if you do, please remember to leave a like on the video. Now, first up, we have Aston Villa versus Bolton. This one finished 2-0. I didn't see it live, but I saw a lot of it in the highlights. And I think from what I saw, Villa deserved to win at least 2-0, maybe even more. Really good performance by them. Grealish opening the score in after just 4 minutes. Abraham setting that one up, and then Grealish turned provider just after half-time, just before the hour mark, for James Chester, who did an amazing clearance off the line. Very good. 60% possession for Villa, 17 shots. They bossed the game, and they probably deserved the 3 points. They're up to 14th with that victory after 2 defeats in a row, off on the road, away at Norwich and then away at QPR. This puts them level with the likes of Brentford and Stoke, and they now need to start turning more results into wins under Dean Smith. The next game is Derby away. Very tough game indeed, but if they can get anything from that, that would be a huge confidence boost. A side that is going super well in Derby at the moment. 3 wins, 2 draws. But I really feel this is a good win for Villa, and they need to start continuing getting wins, climbing up the table, ready for a playoff push in the next few months. It wasn't what Bolton would have wanted. They would have wanted to get something out of this, but they are on a wretched run of form at the minute. If we have a look at the past 10 games, 1 win, 2 draws, 7 defeats. That is awful. Even Ipswich, who are bottom of the table, have 7 points, 1 win, 4 draws, 5 defeats. They are in crisis just because, and they are very lucky that just because they had a very good start to the season. Remember, they for their first 4 games, they won 3 and drew 1, I think. Could be wrong, and it looked all brilliant. It looked brilliant for Bolton, but since then it's been terrible. They picked up 10 points out, and since then they've only picked up 6 points. It's been terrible. Just that Derby win really keeping them afloat above that threshold. And if they carry on, they will go down. It's not a case of they'll be in the relegation zone. They could go down here. They need something to happen. And you look at their squad, and I tipped them not to do very well as well. I think I tipped them to go down, actually. There's not too many players who would get into other sides, if that makes sense. Alkowski I really rate. Oxtumor I feel like needs a better run of games. But there's a lot of players that aren't good enough at that level, and I can only see Bolton struggling from here. January is absolutely massive for them. Next, we go to Saturday's games, and we had a whole bunch as usual at 3 o'clock, and then 1 game at 5:30. The first one was Blackburn versus QPR. Blackburn played really well from what I saw. QPR played quite well from what I saw, and the game was fairly even from the highlights I saw. Blackburn were the more dominant side, and probably overall just about deserved to win the game, if we're being honest. But really lucky goal. There was a foul on Ben Brereton. Really 50-50. I think he clipped him personally. I was watching Quest, and they said, Ian Holloway said that it was harsh. It was harsh, but I feel like they got the right decision. Bradley Dack, super penalty from the spot, giving them all 3 points. Up to 8th now, Blackburn. Very good 3 points for them. They are just 1 point off the playoffs. QPR have moved down to 11th place. But once again, their form has been absolutely fantastic. But you do think that goal, it's 50-50. Next, we have Brentford and Millwall. Brentford getting their first win under Thomas Frank. Canos opened the scoring just after half-time, and then 5 minutes from the end, Ollie Watkins made it 2-0, and a comfortable 2-0 win in the end for Brentford. So their first 3 points, they dominated the game and thoroughly deserved their victory. After 3 defeats in a row to Bristol City, to Preston, and then to Norwich, They've turned it around. They've got a win against Millwall. That's just moved them up to 13th after coming down into the bottom half of the table. They've moved to around mid-table with that win. Next game, they have QPR away. A little bit of a derby there for two London clubs. And a win there would see them go up into the top half, which would be very, very good. Whether it's a sign that they're going to turn things around now under Thomas Frank, I'm not convinced. But I feel that they will be fine under Thomas Frank. Very, very good 3 points there. Next, we go to a game that I thought would not end the way it was, and that was Derby Birmingham. I felt they would struggle due to the Carabao Cup game on Wednesday, but they were fine. They did concede the first goal of the game. Jukovic with a tidy finish after 10 minutes, and that's how it remained at half-time. But half-time, whatever Frank Lampard said worked. Goal from Bennett, Harry Wilson, both of those before the hour mark, and then 75 minutes in, Jack Marriott made it 3-1. There's a chance for Wilson as well to make it 4-1, but a really, really good 3 points against a side that is in form. And Derby really, really bossed the game. 70% possession, 18 shots, 10 on target. They really, really bossed Birmingham City. They're up to 5th now. Really, really encouraging form by Derby. If you look at the teams they've played today, they played Birmingham, didn't they? And they won 3-1. Birmingham are in 10th on a great run of form. Won their last 4 in a row. Next, Middlesbrough. They're obviously having a very, very fine season. That was a 1-1 draw. Very unlucky to draw that one. 4-1 against West Brom, who have been top and now in 7th. A win against Sheffield United, who were top before the weekend's games. And then also a 1-1 draw against QPR, who have really, really turned things round. So Derby's form not only is looking amazing, but they're picking up points against the top sides, which is a very, very good thing to do. However, as I've said previously, they need to start winning against the lower sides. They've dropped points against the likes of Ipswich, Derby, against Bolton. They've dropped points, and Rotherham. So that's something that they need to work on. Next, we go to Hull and West Brom. Bit of a surprise here. Fraser Campbell scoring from close range in 38th minute to give Hull all 3 points. West Brom, they dominated the possession, but it was a fairly even game besides that, and Hull took their chance and they won the game. They're still in the relegation zone, but 2 wins out of 2 against West Brom and then against Bolton. 2 1-0 wins in a row. They've just starting to pick up some good points, looking to get out of that relegation zone. West Brom have dropped down to 7th with no win in their last 4 games. Just 1 point picked up, 1-1 draw against Blackburn, who are down to 10 men for a little bit of that game. A little bit concerning, I would say. I think that somebody said that they are missing Gale, and Gale isn't in the side at the moment. That is somebody they need back as soon as possible if they want to mount a challenge in the playoffs. Absolutely superb player at this level. Next, we go to a very, very entertaining game at Portman Road, Ipswich and Preston. Ipswich gained the lead after 45 minutes. Maxwell was the player that brought down the Ipswich player, the goalkeeper, and he received a yellow card, which would prove costly afterwards. Freddie Sears made it 1-0 at half time. 72 minutes. The game changer came on. Paul Gallagher come on and scored a free kick just a minute later. Lovely free kick into the bottom corner. And then there was another controversial moment. Maxwell coming out and colliding with another player of Ipswich, and he was given a straight red card. This is when Gallagher went in goal and pulled off some fine saves to keep Preston in it. Very, very good point for Preston. But overall, they're probably wondering how they probably didn't win the game. Ipswich is a very, very good point after 3 defeats in a row. Now they need to start gaining some points and gaining some points fast. They're already 5 points from safety, and that may only continue. Reading away next. Massive, massive game. If they win that, they're right back into it. If they lose it, then they'll be 8 points behind Reading, who are currently in 22nd. So massive, massive game at the weekend. Nottingham Forest produced another brilliant display to beat Sheffield United. João Carvalho with a shot come across. The Graben got a head on. That was in the 70th minute, and that is how it remained for the whole rest of the game. A fairly even game overall. 2 sides that are doing very, very well. Forest are just behind Derby. They're in 6th place with 3 wins, 1 draw and 1 defeat in their last 5 games. Absolutely superb by Karanka's men after having loads of draws. 8 draws so far this season. That's half the games they've played. They are now starting to pick up some wins, and they could have a serious promotion push this season. I really did feel like they do very, very well at the start, and they're doing okay, to be fair. After a slow start, they're starting to improve. Sheffield United did go off the top with this one, a defeat. That means Leeds and Norwich have both gone ahead of them, and they are down to third place. But they have Sheffield Wednesday next on the Steel City derby on Friday, and that will be a very, very interesting game indeed. Sheffield Wednesday have gone totally out of form. We will get to them. But Forest, their next game is Stoke, and that will be a tough game. Stoke seem to have picked up some form. Next we go to Reading, who have picked up a massive 3 points against Bristol City. Maete made it 1-0 after 8 minutes, but Marlon Pack was there after 23 minutes. Liam Kelly with a great finish just before half-time. But that wasn't the only goal just before half-time, with Brownhill scoring as well. So it's 2-2 at the break. Bakuna scored in the second half, and that was the only goal in the second half, and a 3-2 win there. Reading, I think you can count them lucky. Bristol City dominated the game, dominated possession, dominated shots on target. But the concerning thing for Lee Johnson's men is they conceded 3 shots on target and they conceded 3 goals. That is very, very concerning indeed. Bristol City, they win 2, they lose 2. I've said this about they win this, they win 2, they lose 2. That seems to be the what's going on at Bristol City, and that then after 2 games they'll be right into the playoffs, and then they'll lose 2, and then they'll be mid-table. They need to get out of this run. They have Preston at home next. That's a massive game to get back to winning ways. Reading, an amazing win that's lifted them into 22nd space, and they need 3 points against Ipswich. I could see them go out of the relegation zone. So a big week coming up for Reading. Next we go to Rotherham, who picked up a valuable 3 points at home to Swansea. McBurney opened the scoring from an assist from James, who's been very, very impressive in the last few weeks. 1-0 it remained at half time. Second half, 2 Ryan Manning penalties sealed the win for Rotherham, and they can count themselves very, very unlucky. Both of them I felt were penalties, but it's hard luck. But you can't give the referee a decision to make, as they say. 71% possession for Swansea, and they probably deserved at least a draw from this. But 2 penalties, if you give away 2 penalties, you're going to get punished. A win here would have put them into the playoffs, but they lost. Very, very disappointing indeed. Rotherham are up to 18th. They're unbeaten in their last 4, which is a very, very good start indeed. 3 draws and then 1 win. The next game is Blackburn away. That'll be very, very tough. Swansea have Bolton away, side in terrible, terrible form, and they need to get something from that to get back to winning ways and look for a playoff position in the next few weeks. Next, we have Norwich City's 4-0 demolition of Sheffield Wednesday. Vranic, I think it's pronounced, missed a penalty. It was one of the worst penalties you'll ever see. Very, very light, and it looks good. It looks good when the keeper goes the other way, but it was very not in the right position at all, and it was a simple save for Dawson. But that's pretty much as good as it got for Sheffield Wednesday, who were ripped apart in the second half. 2 goals from Timu Puki, and these names I'm going to butcher, but Buwande and Shabeni, we'll go with that. And 4 goals, a 4-0 thumping. Very, very good win for that. That took Norwich top of the league temporarily in the end, but really, really good win. After a rocky start, they've really, really come to light in this sort of mid end of the year. They've been so good. 4 wins in a row. Very, very good from Norwich under Daniel Farker. They're continuing to rise. Finally, the game at 5:30 was Stoke versus Middlesbrough. I watched, as most people did, Arsenal and Liverpool. A good point, I would say, for both, but I'm really, really concerned about Middlesbrough's form. 3 draws in a row, and it's not draws against good sides. Stoke and Rotherham obviously sandwiched in there. It's Derby as well. Stoke, if they improve, then you say, oh, maybe it was a good point in hindsight, but that draw against Rotherham was a really, really strange one. They're not scoring too many goals either. Reading, Preston, both down there, one in 22nd, one in 21st. They've both scored more goals down at Middlesbrough, but they have the best defence in the league, continuing just 8 goals. No other side is even in single figures. The best is 13. Swansea have conceded 13, as have Leeds. So 8 goals is very, very good, but if they could just score some more, they would probably win the league, I would say. I feel Stoke will get better and will be around the playoffs in the end. Stoke, their next game is Nottingham Forest away, as I've already mentioned. Very, very tough game there. Middlesbrough will play Wigan. Wigan are doing okay, but they've lost. Their away form, as I've said, is absolutely dreadful. Just 1 win and 7 defeats in their 8 games. And that is a game that Middlesbrough should be definitely winning and trying to go back to the top of the league. Next, we have the Sunday game. I tried to cover this, but we had so many issues. If you were there, you know what I mean. So many issues. I kept going down for some reason. I watched the first half, and I saw the second goal as well. Reece James with a lovely free kick after Joe Garner was fouled, made it 1-0 to Wigan, but they could not maintain that lead for very long. Just 3 minutes later, Pablo Hernandez scored. Click with some great work, which was very, very good, and made it 1-1. After half-time, a mistake by the goalkeeper allowed Roof to tap in, which made it 2-1, and that is how it remained. Very, very, very disappointing indeed, that second goal. But great 3 points for Leeds. So that is my prediction. That is my review. Sorry, Leeds winning 2-1 have gone top of the league, and after a rocky few weeks, 1 win in their last 4, they have gone back to the top with a great win over Wigan. Thank you so much for joining. If you did enjoy the video, please remember to give it a like. Subscribe if you are new. Thank you so much for watching. This comes out every Monday, and then the preview is out on a Thursday. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to check those out in the future. My name is Mike, and I will catch you in a little bit, and I'll see you soon.